Did you know that since September 2024, we've seen 9 massive real estate launches that have created a snowball effect, leading to an unprecedented sales volume in late November. The surge in demand is real after the 6 launches, but in fact before the 6 launches, back in September 2024, we have 3 very good launches as well. So we are talking about, since September to now, 9 huge launches that contributed to this huge snowball of massive sales volume towards the end of 2024. I think many of us realized from the beginning of 2024 to around the third quarter, it's pretty quiet for the new home sales because there aren't many launches. In the first half of this year, I think it's one of the lowest volumes you've seen in a long time for the first half of a year itself. There was a little bit of pent-up demand, partly because there's not enough supply of new choices in the market, and buyers are waiting for a drop in interest rate. This was a little bit alleviated when we moved on to between September to November. If you can see the different launches on the screen, you have 8 at BT in September, followed by Meyer Blue, Norwood Grand Woodlands, and then there's Chuan Park, the Collective at 1 Sophia, Union Square, and last but not least, EOK, Nava Grove, and Novo Place. That means the island-wide market across a broad base is moving together, not just one segment of the market. Actually, from September onwards, Norwood Grand created a new surge in the market. Many buyers who had been priced out of the market for quite a long time were able to finally buy Norwood. So you see more and more people just come into the market and start snapping things up. Since September, let's see what actually happened during the cheques collection for expression of interest during the preview stage. If you look at 8 at BT, 256 cheques. Meyer Blue, 274 cheques. Norwood had close to 1,000 cheques, and then we move on all the way until Emerald of Katong. We have estimated about 10,000 cheques collected for the expression of interests in the market. Around 10,000 buyers responded to agents from September to end of November. Of course, some buyers could have submitted cheques for a few projects. So taking that into account, you could possibly still have around 7,000 interested buyers in the market, and many of whom have not purchased a unit yet after the recent launches. What is really notable is that the price achieved in 8 at BT at Upper Bukit Timah. 1 bedroom, the highest transacted, is $3,000 per square foot, which is about 1.5 to 1.6 million. If you look at the 2 bedroom, it started from about 1.9 million all the way until 2.2 million. And 3 bedroom, 2.5 to 2.9 million. 4 bedroom, 3.5 million and up. So we see that the demand for this area continues to be strong, like what we had observed from the reserve residences. And this was carried forward from Link at Beauty World, where the sub-sale transactions have hit almost 3,000 per square foot. There's immense confidence in this area. So 8 at BT with 53% sold at an average of 2719 PSF in launch weekend is a very respectable number. Then there comes the Meyer by UOL in October. We all know that the sea-facing developments are always held in high demand in District 15 of the East Coast. Many of the buyers are so willingly putting multiple inquiries on each sea view units. For this one, I want to highlight one buying pattern that I observe. Most of the buyers, they first go for the sea view facing units. So regardless of pricing, they went straight for the units that they can get the best views. In fact, we also managed to sell a lot of units that face towards the Amber, Wilkinson, landed estates. And then next, a very big surprise. The next blockbuster was in Woodlands. Who would have thought Woodlands would achieve more than $2,000 per square foot? The market has changed. This is one of the first few GFA harmonized projects launched after Lentor Mansion. Now, you're looking at it from a different perspective. You look at the quantum, not the PSF. Looking at the quantum, it is in a very sweet spot. Why do I say so? Look at the 2-bedroom prices from just 1.23 million onwards. And these are 2-bed, 2-bath units. In the past, before Norwood Grand was launched, 2-bed, 2-bath units you could only find in probably Hillhaven at Hillview and Lentor area. And they were all around the price quantum of 1.5 million plus minus. So by going at 1.23 million, plus the fact that it is a GFA harmonized project, it actually created a new market with many buyers who were previously priced out in other districts. So what I want to highlight here is that affordability becomes the main consideration for buyers. Take note of this, affordability. Regardless of PSF, regardless of location, affordability is key for more mass market projects. And do not judge the product too quickly because the overall price quantum does help to make the project move. Many real estate insiders were also taken aback with the price achieved at the speed of sales. Next, Union Square. This is something that I want to explain further. It is a mixed development on Havelock Road. The headline here says that it sells about 20%. Of course, right now, it's closer to 29%. I would think that Union Square came out at a time when the market is so crowded with the other projects launching together. So therefore, the results were affected. If you recall a few years ago, when we launched Canning Hill Piers, 77% was sold on the launch weekend. Union Square and Canning Hill Piers are just a short distance apart. But why is there a big difference in the performance and result? I think Chuan Park, EOK, and Nava Grove distracted the market. And I believe when the euphoria of Chuan Park and Emerald of Katong is over, the buyers are still there, and they will turn their attention to the CCR, like Union Square and One Sophia. Really, you should take a look at Union Square, because firstly, it's a mixed development. Many buyers are interested in mixed development because of the convenience and ease of rentability. And secondly, it's the final plot that's along Singapore River. Most importantly, look at a price point. I could just draw your attention to the 2-bedroom. It's about 2 million onwards. Right now, Chuan Park, 2-bedroom is around 1.9 plus million already. I mean, pay a bit more. You can own a mixed development in a prime area. So if you have yet to visit Union Square, I suggest you do so now. Give me a call and we can book a slot for you. Next, Chuan Park. Chuan Park had collected around 2,800 cheques during the preview. And the take-up rate was impressive. This was the first launch in this Lorong Chuan in more than a decade. And within D19 itself, this is the first launch in almost 5 years since Florence Residences. And Chuan Park is located on the more premium side of D19 itself. 2-bedroom, with prices starting from about 1.7 million in general all the way until 2 million plus. But really based on our experience during the booking, the euphoria, the excitement, the eagerness to buy a unit is so very strong that the booking process lasted until 1 a.m. midnight. Next, Emerald of Katong. 3,600 cheques collected for the interest on 846 units and almost 100% taken up on launch weekend. The developer did not change the pricing throughout the whole booking process, which leaves a very good taste to the buyers. I think Emerald of Katong was such a good selling project because of the price quantum. While Chuan Park sells due to the lack of supply and its doorstep proximity to MRT, Emerald of Katong, on the other hand, sells because of the unit size. The entry-level price quantum was extremely sweet. Notice that buyers nowadays go for affordability in price quantum. Remember what we mentioned when Norwood Grand was launched earlier. Buyers are more fixated on the price quantum of the units and their ability to pay for a unit versus the PSF of the unit. And it makes sense because now new launches are GFA harmonized. So it is hard for you to compare in terms of PSF, especially in some areas where GFA harmonized projects sit beside non-GFA harmonized projects. So is it then an apple-to-apple comparison in terms of PSF? It will never be. So the main thing here, look at the quantum. Can buyers afford it? We put 3 projects side by side: Emerald of Katong, Nava Grove, and Novo Place, an EC. I want to draw your attention to the transacted prices of Emerald of Katong and Nava Grove. If you look at the transacted prices, almost all units were taken up at Emerald of Katong, the one bedroom, 1.2 plus million to 1.4 million. Still a sweet spot pricing. The 2-bedroom units form the bulk of transactions. So 1.5 plus million to 2 million, this is the sweet spot pricing that 3,600 people have placed their interest for. Really, this is a secret winning recipe of Emerald of Katong. The price quantum is a sweet spot. I also want to draw your attention to the 3-bedroom, pricing from 2.1 million. When we observe the sales on the ground, the 3-bedroom take-up was one of the fastest at first. And then slowly, 2+ study and so on, caught up. Nowadays, as we realize that if we have only one name to buy, and knowing that after which ABSD is an issue, we will stretch as much as we can to buy the biggest unit we can afford. So, 3-bedroom compact ones suddenly become a very sought-after unit in the market, contrary to what happened in the past. An overview of the take-up rate of projects as at 19th November 2024. In the beginning of this video, we showed you the number of checks collected across a whole spectrum of projects, from entry level all the way to the high-end ones. So now this slide shows how many of those checks converted into sales. I can derive from this chart that it is a very broad-based, healthy demand that we observe in the market. In fact, these 9 launches clearly tell us that many of the inventory is really being depleted already. If you're in the market but have been held back due to the PSF, then the reality is that there are many other buyers who have already used price quantum as a reference instead. Affordability is the key because price quantum determines how much you're able to take a loan, not the PSF. The recent projects clearly show that if developers price the product at a sweet spot, the demand will be huge. And then, as it goes higher and higher, the location and attributes of the project will determine whether we hit resistance or not. If the price went up too high during the launch sales, we see a spillover effect to nearby existing launches. In the East alone, Continuum, an existing freehold project, sold around more than 50 units in just a couple of days, and it's still selling because of the ripple effect. Tembusu Grand, on the opposite side of the Tembusu Road itself, also managed to garner a fair bit of sales. So there is a real ripple effect, and buyers who are not able to get a good queue number, they actually move on to other nearby projects. Do get in touch and I can share more. Let's look at the inventory left in District 26, the Lentor area. 15 units of 1 bedroom. And for 2-bedroom units, 56 left. The rest are also selling fast. Then we have District 22 and 23 for buyers who want to stay within the West area. Our 2-bedroom right now, the bottom chart, our 2 bedrooms are all in the 1.5, 1.6 million range. So what I can say is, even for solid projects like the Mist, you have 3 bedrooms around 1.9 million. Such units will not stay for long because almost all the units transacted in the 3 bedrooms now are $2 million and above. Next, when you look at D15, out of the 16 projects, there are only 37 2-bedrooms left as of 19th November 2024. Okay, let's talk a bit on the Black Horse. So, with all the fanfare of D15, D16, Chuan Park, etc., what are the developments that are actually very attractive but flying under the radar as of now? I think the main thing here is all about pricing. For example, if you're looking for a 2-bedroom near Chuan Park, as Chuan Park has transacted between almost 1.7 to about 2 million, what is the next best option? Are you aware of Arcadia at Boon Keng? It's a freehold development not far from Chuan Park. So you see, some of the Black Horse developments are there, but people are not paying strong attention to it. And how about Hill House in District 9, 999 years? Look at the entry price for 1 bedroom. Excellent location. And have you heard of Cassia? It has one of the best entry-level prices, and yet, at the same time, it is freehold, around 1.03, 2 million for 1 bedroom. And for the 2-bedroom, 1.545 million. which is a sweet spot price. Okay, but one more thing I want to highlight is the 3-bedroom, which is around 1.84 million onwards. Very attractive in terms of pricing. And you know what this 3-bedroom has? Imagine the enclosed kitchen and 2 bathrooms are all naturally ventilated. For the same specs, tell me the where else other than Kezia that has this at the same level of pricing. So Kezia is something you have to look at because you will be delighted by the layout and pricing. All in all, the success of these launches offers valuable lessons for the future. Developers and investors can learn from the effective pricing strategies, the importance of location, and the need to understand buyer preferences. As we look ahead, these insights will be crucial in navigating the ever-evolving real estate landscape. Affordability has become a central theme, with buyers increasingly focusing on the overall quantum rather than just the PSF. This shift in buyers' mindset has been evident in projects like Norwood Grand, where competitive pricing has opened up new opportunities for buyers who had previously given up hope. Okay, there you have it. From the ripple effect to existing launch transactions to sweet spot pricing and upcoming opportunities, the real estate market is buzzing with potential. Whether you're an investor or a homestayer, now is the time to act. I have a lot of strategies for you to leverage on. Thanks for watching. My name is PK So, and I'll see you in the next video.